They said a rookie gunner had no chance. They said no one in history had ever destroyed 3 Tiger tanks alone. But on a frozen morning in 1944, a young soldier fired one practice shot, a shot that flipped the entire battlefield upside down. And in the next 12 minutes, he performed a miracle the German commanders still refused to believe. Today's story is the unbelievable but true tale of the rookie who shocked the world. Part 1. The rookie who shouldn't have been there. The snow on the Ardennes forest cracked like old bones as Private Daniel Mercer, a 19-year-old American replacement gunner, stepped into his assigned M10 Tank Destroyer. It was his 3rd day with the crew. Not 3rd week, not 3rd month, 3rd day. He had fired exactly 1 real round in training. The veteran crew looked at him with disappointment they didn't bother hiding. Corporal Bishop, the loader, whispered, "Great, we get the kid who still smells like boot camp soap." Their commander, Sergeant Nolan, wasn't cruel, but he was brutally honest. "Listen, rookie, you keep your head down. You do not try to be a hero. M10s are made of cardboard. Tigers sneeze and we explode." Daniel swallowed hard. He had seen the pictures. Tiger I tanks were monsters. 88mm gun, 100mm frontal armor. Nearly invincible from the front, death itself on tracks. The rumor was that 1 Tiger could wipe out an entire platoon. So when scouts radioed that 3 Tigers, not 1, not 2, but 3, were headed straight toward their position, the American line started to crumble before the battle even began. The Tigers approach. The forest trembled before they even saw them. In the distance, 3 dark shapes rolled like metal giants through the trees, crushing trunks, tearing frozen earth, their engines growling like mechanical lions searching for prey. Sergeant Nolan hissed, "Gun ready!" "We fight from ambush. It's the only chance." But there was a problem. The M10's gun was cold, frozen stiff, lubrication sluggish, elevation gears iced. Bishop muttered, "Rookie, tell me you know how to warm a breech." Daniel didn't answer. He didn't know. He'd never done it. He'd read about it. He'd seen it once. But doing it, under pressure, facing 3 Tigers, his hands trembled. But he forced the breech open, cleared frost, adjusted the hydraulic lever, and locked the gun back into manual elevation. Sergeant Nolan shouted, "Rookie, you just saved us 30 seconds. Keep it up!" Those words, small words, ignited something inside him. Daniel leaned into his sight, and then he froze. Because the Tigers were now visible. 1 practice shot. "You've got 1 shot," Nolan whispered. "Make it count." Daniel's heart hammered. His fingers tingled. He looked through the M10's telescopic sight, and everything disappeared. The cold, the fear, the crew's doubts. It was just him and the Tiger's turret ring. His mouth went dry. He whispered to himself, "Just like training. Just like the 1 round." He exhaled. Pulled the trigger. Boom! The M10 rocked back. The shell screamed through the forest and hit the Tiger's turret ring dead center. An explosion burst out like a sunburst. The turret jammed. A plume of fire shot from the ventilation port. The lead Tiger screeched to a halt. Sergeant Nolan shouted in disbelief, "He hit it! He jammed the damn turret!" Bishop yelled, "Holy, rookie just crippled a Tiger." But Daniel didn't smile. He wasn't done. Because the other 2 Tigers were now turning toward them. And they were angry at the 12-minute war. Minute 1, return fire. The 2nd Tiger fired. A massive 88mm shell slammed into the M10's upper hull, passed clean through, punched out the back, and detonated a tree behind them. The crew was shaken but alive. Thin armor had saved them, ironically, because the round hadn't fused properly. Daniel shouted, "Load heat!" Bishop slammed a shell into the breech. Minute 2, 2nd shot. Daniel fired again. The round smashed into the Tiger's lower glacis. Too shallow. It ricocheted harmlessly. The Tiger roared forward, unstoppable. Minute 3, the flank. Sergeant Nolan screamed, "Reverse now! We need a better angle!" The driver rammed the M10 backward, treads biting into the snow. Daniel adjusted his sight. Minute 4, the miracle shot. The 2nd Tiger exposed its side hull for 1 second. Daniel fired. The shell penetrated the side armor. Metal peeled open, and a jet of fire shot from the commander's hatch. The 2nd Tiger died. Bishop gasped, He did it again. He actually did it again. The angry survivor, the third Tiger, the most experienced commander, now had full visual on Daniel's M10. The giant tank turned its turret slowly. Precisely, confidently. Tiger commanders feared nothing, especially not one rookie. Minute 7, the duel. Both tanks now faced each other. Daniel whispered, "Load AP, fast." Bishop nodded, shaking. The Tiger fired first. A monstrous flash erupted, and the shell missed by inches. Snow blasted upward like a storm. Sergeant Nolan yelled, "Take the shot!" Daniel pulled the trigger. Boom! The AP round struck the Tiger's mantlet. Too thick. It bounced. The Tiger began loading again. And at that moment, Daniel saw it. A tiny opening. A crack in the rear. The engine grill. But to hit it, he needed to rotate the turret manually. Fast. He grabbed the hand wheel. Spun it. His hands bleeding. His muscles screaming. As the gun inched into position. Minute 10, the final breath. Bishop screamed, "Take the shot, Daniel!" Daniel fired. The round slid straight through the Tiger's engine grill, penetrated the fuel tank, and ignited the engine block like a furnace. The Tiger shuddered, stopped, then erupted in a fireball that lit up the entire forest. Silence fell. Only the crackle of burning tigers filled the air. The aftermath. Sergeant Nolan climbed out of the M10, shaking his head, smiling through shock. He turned to Daniel and said softly, "Kid, you just outshot every veteran I've ever known." When command heard the report, they asked the same question over and over. How did a rookie destroy 3 Tiger tanks alone? And every witness said the same thing. He didn't fight like a rookie. He fought like someone who knew he wasn't supposed to survive, and refused to die anyway. Daniel Mercer became a legend that winter. 3 Tigers, 12 minutes, 1 practice shot, a miracle written in fire and steel. The Tigers enter the kill zone. Snow fell silently, but the ground did not. It trembled, like a giant heartbeat beneath the forest. Daniel Mercer pressed his eye back to the M10's sight as 3 Tiger tanks continued their slow, terrifying advance. They moved with the calm confidence of predators who had never lost a hunt. These weren't just tanks. They were statements. Statements of power. Statements of death. German commanders didn't waste Tigers. They used them when they wanted something crushed beyond recognition. Today, that something was the American defense line. The sound of fear. Inside the M10, the crew didn't talk, not because they were disciplined, but because they were terrified. Loader Bishop finally whispered, "Why aren't they firing? They can see the smoke from burning jeeps. They know we're here." Sergeant Nolan answered quietly, "They're Tigers. They don't rush. They don't fear. They don't need to." Daniel swallowed. He'd seen German Panthers before, fast, aggressive, deadly. But Tigers were different. When Tigers entered the battlefield, the war slowed down. Every second felt heavier. Every sound felt sharper. And every man felt smaller. A rookie's eyes on 3 monsters. Daniel tried to steady his breathing. This wasn't a training poster. These weren't diagrams. This was real. Through his scope, he saw the markings on the lead Tiger. A white 113 painted across the turret, its armor covered in frost. Its commander half exposed, scanning the tree line like a hawk. Daniel felt the same chill he had felt during his 1 live fire training day. The fear, the silence, the pressure. Only this time, there were 3 Tigers, and he had only 1 working turret, 1 shaking crew, and 1 very thin-skinned tank destroyer. The kill zone trap. Sergeant Nolan inhaled deeply. "All right, this is our shot. The only shot. Kill zone is 90 yards ahead. They enter it, we fire, not before." Daniel checked his sight again. The Tigers trudged forward, smashing young pine trees like matchsticks. Their tracks clanked with a slow, grinding thunder. They cast shadows that swallowed the snow. Nolan's voice came again. "Rookie, when I say fire, you don't think. You just do it." Daniel nodded, hands sweating despite the freezing cabin. German radio chatter, unknowingly walking into death. What the Americans didn't know was what the German commander was saying at that exact moment. "Langsam, keine Eile. Die Amerikaner laufen. Slowly, no hurry. The Americans are running." To him, this wasn't a fight. It was a cleanup. Tiger 113 radioed his wingman. Panzer II, flank right. Panzer III, cover rear. Nothing survives here. They were confident. Too confident. And that confidence was about to cost them everything. The cracking of branches. Daniel's heart punched his ribs. The Tigers entered the thin tree corridor. Nolan had marked earlier, the death funnel. Nolan whispered, "Steady, steady." The first Tiger's hull filled Daniel's sight entirely. Its turret ring gleamed faintly where frost had melted from engine heat. Daniel exhaled slowly. He remembered the lesson from his instructor on the only day he ever touched a real cannon. Don't fight the tank. Fight the weak spot. Nolan roared. Fire! Daniel squeezed the trigger. The M10 recoiled violently. Smoke filled the turret. The shell streaked across the frozen air. And the world changed. The hit that shouldn't have happened. The round slammed directly into the Tiger's turret ring. A perfect hit. A hit experienced gunners practiced for years to master. Inside Tiger 113, the crew screamed as sparks erupted and the turret jammed in place. The commander ducked, shouting orders in panic. Sergeant Nolan's jaw dropped. Bishop whispered, "No way." No way he hit that. Daniel didn't react. He wasn't stunned. He wasn't proud. He was focused. Because the other two Tigers smelled danger. And they were turning, slowly, menacingly, right toward the M10. The rookie realizes the truth. Daniel saw the second Tiger's turret swinging. He realized something instantly. They weren't fighting for a victory anymore. They were fighting to stay alive. And the Tigers were only just beginning to attack. The 12-minute nightmare begins. The first Tiger was crippled, but crippled didn't mean harmless. Its 80mm gun was still loaded. Its crew was still alive, and its hatred now burned twice as hot. Daniel Mercer barely had time to blink before the next danger showed its teeth. The second Tiger takes aim. Through Daniel's scope, the second Tiger rotated its turret with mechanical precision. No panic, no hesitation. These were not rookies. Tiger crews were elite, hand-picked, battle-hardened, each one terrifyingly calm under fire. Bishop whispered shakily, "They're coming straight for us." "Damn it, they're coming fast." Sergeant Nolan snapped, "Rookie, fast load! Ape shell, move!" Daniel dropped down, grabbed the elevation wheel, and recalibrated the barrel manually. His gloves slipping on frozen steel, his breath forming clouds of panic. Tiger II was now fully locked on. The duel had begun. Second 1, the 88mm fires. There was no warning. No flash first. No smoke trail. Just a violent explosion of thunder as the Tiger fired. The 88mm shell ripped through the forest. A glowing comet of doom. It smashed into the M10's front armor, passed straight through the tank, and burrowed into a fallen log behind them, detonating a geyser of snow and dirt. Daniel felt the shockwave in his bones. Bishop yelled, "They hit us, but didn't explode." "Armor too thin, the shell didn't fuse." Sergeant Nolan grinned darkly. "Good, let them underestimate us." Rookie fire. Second 12, the countershot. Boom! Daniel's AP shell tore across the forest. It hit the second Tiger's glacis plate, but at a bad angle. The round ricocheted upward with a metallic scream. The Tiger didn't even slow down. Its commander pointed forward and spat the words, "Vernichtet sie." Destroy them. The beast advanced. Second 25, the M10 begins to reverse. "Driver, reverse!" "Hard right!" Nolan shouted. The M10 lurched backward through the snow, treads grinding and slipping. Branches scraped the hull. The engine groaned under stress. Daniel kept rotating the turret by hand. Faster, faster, until sweat dripped down his neck despite the winter cold. He had never spun a turret like this before. His muscles burned. His knuckles bled. But he kept going, because if he didn't, they would all be dead in seconds. The perfect angle. The second Tiger exposed its right side hull, just for an instant. As it maneuvered around a fallen oak tree, Daniel shouted, "I have a shot!" Nolan, "Take it!" Daniel fired. The shot struck the Tiger's side armor, penetrated, and ignited ammunition inside. A flaming jet blasted out of the tank's opposite side. Tiger II screeched to a halt. Smoke poured from every hatch. The crew bailed out screaming into the snow. Bishop slammed his fist into the turret wall. "That's two. He got another one." But Nolan didn't celebrate. His face turned white. He pointed. The third tiger emerges. It wasn't charging blindly like the others. This one stopped, steadied itself, aimed, coldly, deliberately. This was the commander of the trio. Sharp, patient, experienced. He had watched both kills. He wasn't going to make the same mistakes. He had chosen his target. Them. The commander's decision. Inside the third tiger, the commander said quietly, "Dieser Schütze ist gefährlich." This gunner is dangerous. He ordered, "Flank wide, crush them." The tiger began to move. Slowly, like a lion circling prey. Sergeant Nolan whispered, "This one's smart. Smarter than all of them. Rookie, get ready. This one is coming for the kill." Daniel didn't answer. He simply placed his eye back to the sight. His breathing slowed. His fear shrank. His focus sharpened into a razor. Because he finally understood. This wasn't about skill anymore. This was instinct. This was survival. The third tiger fires and misses by inches. The tiger fired. The ground shook as the 80mm shell slammed into the frozen bank next to the M10, showering the tank destroyer in snow and shrapnel. Daniel didn't flinch. Through the smoke, he whispered, "I can kill him." Nolan blinked. "What did you say?" "Daniel, I can hit his engine, but I need 10 seconds. Nolan stared at him, realizing this rookie wasn't a rookie anymore. He was becoming something else. A marksman, a machine, a threat even Tiger commanders feared. The next 10 seconds would decide everything. The Tiger circled, the M10 repositioned. Daniel rotated the turret, every muscle screaming. The forest held its breath. This was the moment that would define the next 7 decades of tank warfare stories. Daniel whispered, "Load AP, aim deep. Wait, now!" He fired, and the world erupted. And that winter morning, in a frozen forest where hope was supposed to die, one rookie gunner proved that courage isn't measured in years of experience. It's measured in the seconds you refuse to give up. 3 tigers entered the battlefield with absolute confidence. 12 minutes later, only silence and burning steel remained. And a rookie, with just one practice shot in his life, rewrote tank warfare history forever. If you enjoyed this unbelievable story of courage, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Because more forgotten legends of World War II are coming soon. This is WWII Revealed, where heroes rise from nowhere